Hope you're all doing great. Let me just check before we get started with this session, and let me just confirm if the audio, visual, and everything is perfectly clear. Yeah, yeah, that's correct. All right, so yeah, I think it's working, and we can get started with our session. Okay, so Zach Para Summary Part 2 by Anupam Mishra. That's me. And what we will be talking about today is we'll basically pick up exactly where we left off yesterday. Okay, we had a discussion at the same point of time, right? To 7 to 7:30, we had a session yesterday, same time where where we talked about the theoretical part of parasummary, right? And we're gonna pick it up from there today. And so before anything else, just a little bit of tiny bit of introduction about me. I'm Anupam Mishra, this guy right here, and I'm from the batch of 2018. I'm Lucknow, and these are my CAT credentials, and that's it, right? You can read all of this up later on. Let's go on to the important stuff. So all of this is something that we've been discussing over these last month, right? In all the YouTube sessions, in all the special classes that we have had, I've taken up for you. These are the things that we have been discussing, and we discussed how verbal is that is different from CAT, and this is where we are right now, but the parasummary questions part. In the upcoming days, I'll also try to come up with some YouTube sessions on critical reasoning as well. Although I think we have done a couple of questions on critical reasoning, but I'll try to come up with some sessions on in the upcoming weeks as well. Okay, so for now we are doing parasummary and inference. All right. So yesterday, just a very quick summary of what we discussed yesterday. For those of you who were here, we discussed the suggestive protocol that you guys can be following for solving parasummary questions in XAT. The protocol went something like: you have to first start with you should first start with going through the paragraph while mapping all the points that you think might be useful that make up the paragraph, mapping the main points of the paragraph. Okay, once you're done mapping the points of the paragraph, the next step is to classify these points into two categories, which are the core categories, and peripheral category. So basically, some of these points will be core, some of these will be peripheral. We discussed at length yesterday that how to differentiate between core and peripheral points. We discussed that already, and once you're done doing this, you gotta once you're done with that, you will start. The next step will obviously be to start going through the options and eliminating the same, right? So that's what is to be done. That's the protocol that I suggested to you guys, right? We also talked about the three types of errors that your three types of incorrect summaries, the three types of errors that your options in your parasummary questions might be committing: error of omission, error of inclusion, and error of distortion, right? So these are the three items that we discussed, and with examples. And today the idea is just to start off with some questions. Okay, so I'm gonna put some questions to you, and we'll start with the basic ones, and after that we will move on to the more difficult ones, right? So let's start with this question number 2 here that you have on your screen. That says, it's a very simple one, right? It says it has given you a very short statement that assumptions are analogous to the basic ingredients in a gourmet recipe. Only the final product of the recipe dictates whether the ingredients suffice. Correct? So now, which of the following is analogous to the statement above? Now, all those who are watching this session right now, please feel free to answer. Let me know what you think is the answer. Just tell me in the comments. You can tell me in the comments what do you think is the answer to this question. Will it be option 1? Will it be option 2? Option 3? 4 or 5? Anyone who's watching it? Just go through it. See, I'll just read the part that might be getting overlap because of my image. I'll just read that part. Assumptions are analogous to the basic ingredients in a gourmet recipe. This part that is getting overlapped is recipe. Only the final product, this says only the final product of the recipe dictates whether the ingredients suffice. Only the final product of the recipe dictates whether the ingredients suffice. Okay, so which of the following is analogous to the statement above? Okay, let me just see if I can just get your the image out of this. So let me see if I can if this can be moved. I'm just trying to move this. Wait a second. Yeah, it can be moved. So I can probably just put it down here. I'm gonna put it down here. Okay, so I think it will be easier for you guys to read the question in that scenario. Okay, I think you should be able to answer the question, see the full question now and answer it. Okay, so yeah, this is better. This is way better. All right, so विवेक कौन सा ऑप्शन लग रहा है आपको? आपको ऑप्शन 5 लग रहा है? ठीक है, let's start with that. So all right, let's go through the question. एक बार क्वेश्चन देखते हैं हम लोग कि क्या सीन है क्वेश्चन का. And assumptions are analogous to the basic ingredients in a gourmet recipe. Only the final product of the recipe dictates whether the ingredients suffice, right? So like जैसे आपके रेसिपी के अंदर ingredients सही है कि नहीं वो आपको फाइनली देख के रेसिपी जब पूरा खाना बन जाता है उसके बाद पता चलता है. सिमिलरली whether your argument is correct or not, whether the assumptions that you have taken in the argument are correct or not are checked only after the conclusion of the argument. If the argument makes sense, that means your assumption probably makes sense, otherwise they do not, right? That's what he's essentially trying to say. We need to find out which of these options are analogous to the statement above, right? So let's go through each of the options one by one. The first option says that good wine needs no advertisement. Good wine needs no advertisement. No, this statement is not about saying that if you have a good product you don't need to advertise, or advertisement or not advertising is not the focus of the sentence, is not the focus of the sentence, of the expression here. The focus of the expression is if at the end you're able to get a good product. That means if the output is, see, essentially the essence of this paragraph is that the output determines if the inputs were correct or not. If the inputs were correct or not, right? The output determines if the inputs were correct or not. Correct? That. Say yeah, Vivek. Is that you agree, right? That's what it determines. It says so. In this case, you do not see any output determining any inputs, right? It just distorts the whole meaning. Next one, the apple never falls far from the tree. This just says that input is essential. Input is very essential for the output, right? This is ये option आपका ये कह रहा है, which is not the same as what the statement says. Which is not the same as what the statement says, right? Then next one is all is well that ends well. All is well that ends well. This might come near. ये थोड़ा सा आपका फिर भी थोड़ा पास में हो सकता है, but still not really on point. This is quite near. It says that अगर output सही है, if the output is correct, that means the input, it doesn't really matter whether the input is correct or not. Okay, this is more like it doesn't really matter whether the input is correct or not. Okay, this इसका मतलब आपका ये आ रहा है. So again, it does not make sense. As you sow, so shall you reap. Again, ये भी आपका same statement. Yeah, this also is giving you the same kind of answer, right? अगर आप इसको as you sow, so shall you reap लेके जाओ, ये भी आपको ये वाला option दे रहा है. Input determines the output. The only option that is actually analogous to what is being mentioned in this statement here is the proof of the pudding. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. How good the output is determined by how how good of the output is determines how good the inputs were. So if the eating is the output, basically eating आपका output वाला part है, and proof of the pudding वाला है वो आपका input वाला part है, right? So if the output makes sense, then the input also makes sense, which is similar to what this sentence actually means, right? And that's why it makes sense. Alright, ठीक है, ये आपका आंसर हो गया. अभी हम लोग आगे चलते हैं. Let's go to the next one. You want to do the first sentence? Let's just do the first one. पहला वाला करते हैं. अरे यार, first का आपने आंसर तो देख लिया, so कोई नहीं. Let's do the third one. ये वाला क्वेश्चन करिए. It's actually a poem, and that is quite known for including poems in their having poems in their as part of the question paper. So please just solve this and let me know what you think about this one. इसका आपका क्या आ रहा है वो बताइए मुझे. I sought a soul in the sea and found a coral there. I sought a soul in the sea and found a coral there. Beneath the foam for me, an ocean was all laid bare. Into my heart's night, along a narrow way, I groped, and lo, the light, an infinite land of day. Okay, पढ़ लिया आपने ये पढ़ा? Okay, so he says so basically. Uh, Let me know once you're done reading the question. Okay, ठीक है. Let's go to the question. Which of the following would best capture the essence of the poem? अब आपको essence निकालना है. Essence means again it's a summary question, right? Where the best captures the essence of the poem. So it means it's a summary question. What do you think is the answer? So let's go. एक बार देखते हैं चलो. What lies outside is always deceptive. Okay, guys. First of all, पहली चीज तो हम लोग ये देखते हैं. What is this passage about? What is this passage about? कि भाई he was seeking something in the sea somewhere. He was outside. He was seeking something, but he found a coral there, or maybe it's more metaphorical in nature. It's not literal. Beneath the foam for me, or an ocean was laid bare. So basically, when he was seeking something outside, something outside, it was not a fruitful attempt for him. That did not work out for him. But when he sought it inside him, into my heart's night, I groped, and lo, the light, and infinite day, land of day. Right? When he sought inside, when this guy sought inside, then he actually found fulfillment. He actually found fulfillment when he sought inside. Right? So that's the essence of the passage. Okay, that's inside. Whatever you want to find, you'll be able to find inside you rather than outside. And so it's better that you look inside than to go and look outside for your satisfaction, right? So that's the point. That's the major part. बाकी जो so these are the core points. ये जो हमने दिया हुआ है, this is the core point. Whatever we have written in yellow are the core points. What are the peripheral points? में peripheral points क्या है? The peripheral points I'll just write in blue. Peripheral points would be, let's say, sea हो गया, coral हो गया, because these are just literal meanings, right? They're just literal meanings. So I'll call these the peripheral points. Peripheral points are in blue. So below all of this literal meaning is just peripheral in nature. Foam, ye, and along a narrow way. This is just peripheral. It's just the poetic way of saying that. Okay, I groped and the light. All of this, so like this is not the sense. This is just the skin, right? It's not the gist. That's just the skin of the passage. It's not the gist, or this is not the core of the passage. It's just the periphery. So now let's try and look at the options. So what lies outside is always deceptive. Is always deceptive. Okay, what lies outside is always deceptive. This does not at all cover that looking inside works and looking outside does not work. Maybe the looking outside part probably is covered, but this part is definitely not covered, right? So ये आपका option गया. Pursue the narrow path and avoid the broad ways. This is the passage is not about pursuing narrow path and avoiding broad ways. It's more about outside and inside, right? So this just mentions the peripheral point and does not mention the core point, right? So that's why this will also not be the answer. These two gone. External search is futile and explore the inner space for answers. Yes, ये आपका ये sentence है जो कह रहा है that internal works and the outside part does not work. So this can be the right answer. Heart's pathways are broad and clear to the destination. It's not about heart's pathways, it's about external and internal search. So again wrong. Light offers side and inside. Again the internal and external or outside, inside or what say, inside or outside path is totally missing in this. This also goes wrong, and the only correct answer is obviously option 3. Okay, ठीक है, next वाले पे चलते हैं. Let's go to the next one. What about this? Fragrant with steam. Just go through this. एक बार आप इसको read कर लीजिए, उसके बाद मुझे बताइए. Once you have read it, just let me know. Okay, well, let me know once you have read it. See, in fact, I'll do what? I'll read it for you. Fragrant with steam were the days and the nights red with many braziers in the beloved house of my father, my mother. Fragrant with steam were the days and the nights red with many braziers in the beloved house of my father, my mother. Right? छोटा सा है. चलो आगे चलते हैं. Which of the following options is the closest expression? यहाँ पे core क्या है? Guys, it's very easy to get deceived in this particular passage. हाँ, इसमें deceive होना बहुत आसान है. यहाँ पे the core point is more about how she found, how she really enjoyed and found everything special when it came to her father, or let's say her, anything related to her father or mother. So he always found anything related to her father or mother, let's say house always special, and house से बाद में फिर आपका यहाँ पे days and nights आ जा रहा है, जो भी है मतलब. So days and nights etc. ठीक है, nights days दोनों आ गया. So anything that was related to her father or mother, she found that special. What is not core here, what is peripheral here, is that the days being fragrant and the nights red with braziers, these are peripheral points. These are not the core points. Okay, these are peripheral points because these are just being used to demonstrate what is actually the gist. That the gist is that it was mainly because like the days seemed this way and the nights seemed this way because she was so close to her father or mother, because that place was special. The days and nights in the place was special because it was that of her mother or his mother, or her father or his father, right? That's the reason. So let's look at the sentences options. So what do you think is the correct answer here? What do you think is the correct answer? Which of the is the closest expression of the poet's feeling? Which of the following options is the closest expression of the poet's feeling? Was it about beautiful settings? The house was located in beautiful settings. If you have read the passage but you have only understood it in a very superficial manner, in that case you might think that it was basically about beautiful settings surrounding by flowers in the mountains, etc., etc., etc. But that is not the case. That's too superficial. Okay, and that's what I'm writing here. So that's why. Okay, and okay, just a second. All right. Okay, so the next, let's go to the next one. Okay, we came to the answers by mistake. Sorry, ठीक है, कोई नहीं है. Let's still analyze answers. भले आंसर भले ही दिख रहा है, let's still analyze this, है ना? Somehow you're right. Gayatri बोल रहा है 5. Gayatri says it's 4. Sambhav says it's 5. Let's analyze the options answers here. See, the पहला वाला जो है वो beautiful settings के ऊपर focus कर रहा है, flowers के ऊपर focus कर रहा है, mountains पे focus कर रहा है, and that's why it's superficial in nature. Okay. Next, the ancestral home was probably the most important house in the community. Where are we talking about community? Community कहाँ से आ गया? Like nothing in the passage tells you that it is talking about the community. And ancestral home, chalo, okay, ancestral home might still be justified because it's probably the home of her father or mother, or his or her father or mother. But community is not justified at all. So you get rid of this. Next, the poet fondly recalls the pleasant climate enjoyed day and night. This option totally misses the parents part. This totally misses the parents part, right? Correct? So ये तो आपका ऐसे भी नहीं हो सकता because it was not about pleasant climate. The passage is not about pleasant climate. The passage is about parents, right? So that's why this is also incorrect. Next, the poet misses the braziers and steams she had enjoyed during her childhood. This option also misses the parents part. Okay, again, it's not about the braziers or the steam. It's not about this. It's not about this. These, those are just ways of expressing how special her parents' house was to her. Correct? है ना? Are they critical reasoning questions? Yes, yes, Abhijit, these are critical reasoning questions. Sorry, Abhijit, these are not critical reasoning questions. These are para summary questions. Abhijit, these are para summary questions. These are not critical reasoning questions. Okay. Chalo, let's go. Let's solve another one. एक और solve करते हैं. Let's solve another one. Read the following stanza and answer the questions that follow. Go through this one. Let me know once you're done. Once you've gone through this. Just go through it and let me know once you're done. Done. Invisible atoms coming together, revealing themselves in visible forms. Seeds are hugged by the earth, which renders them as gardens in bloom. Uh, and yonder stars, are they not pearls floating on teeming seas? Scattered yet strung together in orderly constellations, love binding them to one another, and each is perpetually seeking its like. So guys, we need to understand here ki what are the core points and what are the peripheral points. Okay, that's of essence. That is completely of essence. So atoms coming together, hugged by earth, right? Floating on, scattered, strung together in orderly constellations, binding them to one another, right? Right. So core points is the core point is basically about the core point, as you can see, is basically about like bringing together, right? Bringing everything together. Man, what's going on? I'm sorry, guys. Before it's actually this stylus that I'm using. It's kind of a new one, and it just happened to press the button, so it goes to the next slide. Anyways, the core point is basically bringing stuff together, right? Bringing stuff together, bringing everything together. Okay, bringing together is basically the core idea. All the specifics that you have, जो भी आपके यहाँ पे specifics दे रखे हैं, the specifics like atoms, or let's say I don't know, gardens, atoms, steaming seas. These are just atoms that have been used for analogy as metaphors, right? So not necessarily metaphors, like these are, they by themselves won't be able to explain what the code or the gist of the passage is, but these points hugged by the earth, coming together, strung together, binding home, they do explain the gist, right? Okay. Yes, exactly, Vivek, you're right. आपने करवा दिया है गायत्री. ये मैंने आपको YouTube सेशन में नहीं कराया हुआ, ये शायद स्पेशल क्लास में अगर आपका हुआ होगा तो हुआ होगा, ये शायद YouTube सेशन में नहीं हुआ होगा, जहाँ तक मुझे ध्यान में है ना. So alright, let's solve this, guys. So which of the following options best captures the spirit of the above stanza? Stars and seas are similar. This was a peripheral point, this was also a peripheral point. The core point क्या था आपका? Coming together was the core point, right? Core point was coming together. मैं पूरा लिख नहीं रहा हूँ. Coming together was the core point. इसके लिए, and that's why this will not be part, this cannot be your answer, right? इसलिए आपका ये आंसर नहीं हो सकता, because यहाँ पे core point missing है. So this will go. All rivers flow into the ocean. Again, the core point is missing. Rivers and ocean, like all of this is peripheral, and in fact it's not even given there. So ये भी आपका गया. United we stand, divided we fall. United we stand, divided we fall. This is kind of implicatory in nature. This is more consequential. This has a more consequential tone. Okay, it has a consequential tone, while this passage only has observational tone, right? It doesn't have a consequential tone. इज दैट करेक्ट? आप समझ पा रहे हैं मैं ऑब्जर्वेशनल टोन और कंसिक्वेंशियल टोन की मैं क्या बात कर रहा हूँ? Are you guys Vivek, Gayatri, Abhijit, and anyone else who's watching Sambhav? See, so यहाँ पे it's the author is just observing. He's not making any judgments or opinions कि हाँ ये ऐसा होना चाहिए या फिर divided we stand or divided we fall. In this case, this is actually a more of a judgment, and that's why this cannot be the answer. This cannot be the answer. Okay, so next, love dissolves all religious differences. Love dissolves all this is okay, but the main problem with this is religious differences. Where did the author talk about religion? There was no discussion about religion differences or any other kind of difference. Maybe differences, but not religious differences, that's for sure. So that rules out option number 4. That rules out option number 4. Okay. Finally, something invisible binds disparate objects. Invisible binds disparate objects. This is relating to the core point that has been mentioned, coming together. This does relate to the core, which is what? Coming together. Correct? So is this okay? Are you guys able to clear है सभी को? Right? So something visible binds disparate objects. So, and that's why your correct answer will be option 5. Your correct answer will be option 5. Okay? All right guys, so that's see as I told you, मैंने कल भी आपको बताया था, कल हमने पैरा समरी सेशन हमने इसके पहले किया हुआ था, and as we discussed, and see the idea here is this whole core point and peripheral point idea is very important. You need to understand कि आपने अगर आपने ये बस core and peripheral वाला कर लिया, अगर आप बस core peripheral वाला अगर सही से कर ले रहे हैं, अगर आप वो सही से ensure कर ले रहे हैं कि you are clear about that, that is enough to ensure that you won't make any mistakes in your para summary questions. Okay, all right, that's it from my side guys. Now in the next coming sessions, in the next 3 days, अगले 3 दिनों में I'm coming up with your critical reasoning questions. Critical reasoning के मैं sessions ला रहा हूँ, जो कि which will be held at 3:30 p.m. Sorry, 3 to 3:30 p.m. Between 3 to 4 p.m. every day for 3 days. Okay, so and we'll be doing critical reasoning XAT questions in this period for the next 3 days. Okay, so XAT CR, I'm just informing you here, so in case you want to attend those sessions, you can definitely make sure. Okay, part 1 link. अभिजीत, part 1 का link मैं आपको कैसे भेजूँ? Part 1 link, you can just look at the video that was live at 7 p.m. yesterday. कल 7 बजे जो हाँ YouTube सेशन होगा गायत्री, यस YouTube सेशन होगा. हाँ एमी होगा, YouTube सेशन होगा, एंड पार्ट 1 का लिंक आपको मिल जाएगा गाइज. इसमें पार्ट 1 का लिंक नहीं, जस्ट गो, आप ये जो चैनल है ना, YouTube चैनल है, इसमें जाके आप कल 7:30 का वीडियो एक बार देख लीजिए. संभव, द आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन इज संभव, एक्यूरेसी में प्रॉब्लम है. मेरे सामने अभी मैंने जो स्लाइड रखी हुई है, प्लीज ये प्रैक्टिस कर लो. गलत ऑप्शंस को इन 3 कैटेगरीज में क्लासिफाई करना प्रैक्टिस कर लो, तो आपका काम हो जाएगा. ओके संभव, क्लियर हो गया? जस्ट प्रैक्टिस क्लासिफाइंग रॉन्ग ऑप्शंस इनटू दिस. ओके अभिजीत, सेम अभिजीत, my advice is going to be the same. Just practice classifying incorrect options into these 3 categories: error of omission, error of inclusion, error of distortion. If you are able to do this, तो ये मतलब आपका accuracy बढ़ जाना चाहिए इसमें. Elimination improves accuracy. Elimination always improves accuracy. Okay, and you can check out my first session. आप मेरा पहला सेशन देख सकते हैं, and you can check out my profile में भी आपको मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, that's it guys. I'll have to rush now, and I'll see you tomorrow between 3 to 4 p.m. YouTube session में. And मैं आपका लिंक का भी कुछ अरेंज करता हूँ, पार्ट 1 का भी कुछ लिंक अरेंज हो सके तो I'll try to arrange. ठीक है, हाँ फिर भी रॉन्ग हो रहा है, देन विल हैव टू लुक इनटू इट. हमें और थोड़ा अंदर देखना पड़ेगा कि क्या इशू हो रहा है ना अभिजीत. एक बार अब अभिजीत जस्ट लुक एट माय, एक बार पहला वाला पार्ट एक बार देखिएगा प्लीज एक बार फर्स्ट पार्ट देखिए. मैंने काफी अच्छे से इसको एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है, एटलीस्ट दैट्स व्हाट आई वाज टोल्ड बाय लर्नर्स. काफी अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है. तो एक बार ट्राई करो, एक बार देखो कि इफ यू आर क्लियर विद दिस, इफ यू आर एबल टू एलिमिनेट प्रॉपर्ली, तो आपका फिर आप सही आएगा, सही होगा. ठीक है, that's it guys. Thank you so much for being such a patient audience, and I'll have to sign off now. Okay, अच्छा fill in the blanks wrong हो रहे हैं. Man, okay, I'm sorry, I understood. I thought you were saying कि फिर भी wrong हो रहा है FIB. Fill in the blanks. चलो, let's in that case let's do a session on fill in the blanks. I'll do a session on fill in the blanks. Maybe I'll try to do it in the next 2 or 3 days के अंदर मैं होता है तो मैं लेके आने की try करता हूँ. ठीक है? चलो. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here. For being such a wonderful audience. I'll see you later. Okay. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. And don't worry too much. You're gonna do great. Okay. Good night, guys.